down, obviously, today's meeting. First of all, again, I want to congratulate all of you for dedicating yourself, for sitting in your chair and paying attention to this entire training. That really says a lot about all of you. It's so important, especially if you're here today and you want to be successful in ACN, it's very important that you take advantage of all the tools that we have available. But I want to talk about one tool, and that's the tool of these international events. How many of you would agree with me that being here today, and today is just one small part of the weekend, but being here today has already made a difference in your business just by sitting through that training today? If you agree with me, raise your hand. So I wanted to see how many of you people would raise your hand, because I think that these international events are the most important thing in your business. A matter of fact, if I were you and I went home and was working in my city or your country, I would tell every single person if they want to be successful, they must attend these events. Now, I was just backstage, and I was having a really good conversation with two regional vice presidents. These two regional vice presidents are actually from the country of Canada, and they're very successful in the North American market. They've also developed organizations that now have started here in Europe, and this is their very first international convention that they attended, and they're completely shocked and completely blown away with how many people were sitting here in today's leadership meeting. I know these two people very well. I consider them very close friends. Obviously, we hang out with them on the RVP trips, and they've done such an incredible job. I know many of you heard about a lot of the success that Montreal, Canada has experienced. I mean, these guys were putting regional training events together, several of them with well over 6,000 people in attendance. And these guys were doing this on their own. They got started in ACN about 7 years ago, and today they combined about 150,000 customer points. And I asked them if they wouldn't mind if they would just come here and just do a quick testimonial, and they were kind of shocked and surprised that I would ask them to come here. But I asked them if they wouldn't mind just taking 5 minutes each and doing a quick testimonial, because when I was having my conversation with them, and they were telling me and giving me examples of why their business has grown so fast, I said, I can't believe you're saying this, because that's exactly what I was going to tell the audience when I came out at the very end. But instead of me just telling you, I'd rather you hear it directly from two very successful regional vice presidents from Canada who can actually tell you how they got to where they are, how they became so successful in ACN. And I asked them to do a testimonial. Is that okay with all of you guys? So help me welcome to the stage Max Butera and Matthew Ambrose, regional vice president of Canada.
How's everybody doing? First of all, I gotta tell you guys, I traveled all across the world. I've been to a lot of meetings, and I can tell you today is one of the meetings that I was the most impressed by because of the energy and what you guys have been able to create in Europe. So give yourself a good hand. Company in Montreal, Canada. Do we have some people from Montreal, Canada here? I just wanted to give respect to my 3 people that came with us from Montreal, Canada. So 7.5 years ago, I was a full-time student. I was playing basketball. I came to a meeting similar as this. I saw a business presentation. I got excited, but I didn't think I could do it. What happened is at the end of the meeting, the person had a conversation with me that made me realize that I should do it. So what happened is I started this as a hobby, meaning if you know what I'm talking about, a hobby is something you pay to do, and when you're a professional, you get paid to do it. So what happened is I got started in this business. I did not make any money. I was going to meetings, was not having success. After my first year, I didn't even make $1,000 for the whole year. I didn't even have I had 8 people in my group. So what happened is I started to think about what was the problem, and I figured out everybody was getting paid by the same company, everybody was offering the same products, so the problem was not the company, it was me. And I read a book and it said, your best thinking got you where you're at. So if you want to go somewhere else, you cannot trust your own thinking. So I said, okay. So it's been a year. I've proven that my thinking got me 8 people in the business, so I should become coachable. So I said to myself, I'm going to be 100% coachable, I'm going to listen to my mentor, and I'm going to do exactly what they tell me to do. So I called my mentor, I said, just tell me what I got to do to have success. I'm tired of being a spectator. I want to have success. So I call him up, he says, you have to go to an international event. You guys got to think about this. I'm 19 at the time. I have no job. I don't have any money. I say, okay, perfect, where is it? He says, you have to go to Texas. For you guys that don't know, from Texas to Montreal, it's a long way. I didn't know that. So I go on the internet, I look it up, it says 38 hours of driving. So it's okay, I'm willing, I'm committed. There was no problem with that. Only problem was, I did not have a car, and I didn't even have a driver's license. Here's what I did. I convinced 13 people to come with me to an international event. And when the 13 people came to the event, we got back after that event and hit TC in 6 months. And then we hit RVP a year and a half after that. So what I found out is that you do not need to be the best at presenting, you do not need to be the best at getting customers, you need to be the best at bringing people to events like this, like the one we're having in Lisbon, Portugal. I want to thank you for taking some time with me so I can share my testimonial. I want you guys to hear from my partner. He's an incredible leader. He's built one of the biggest teams in all of Canada, and right now overrides a lot of customers. He's helped thousands of people make substantial money. He's helped a lot of people become team coordinators, a lot of people become regional directors in RVP, so I want to pass it up to my friend and one of my business partners, Mr. Maxim Bater.
ACN? ACN? You're way louder in North America. ACN! 7 years ago, I started this business. Had a job. $20 an hour. Supervisor at a telemarketing spot for an ADT alarm zone. Taking phone appointments. My speech was, hello sir, your house got selected this week. Some random guy in the calling center came up to me and he said, Max, you're underpaid. I'm like, what do you mean? I get double of your salary. He's like, Max, you're underpaid. You're not paid for what you're worth here. You have to meet my sponsor in a new network marketing business that's starting in Canada. I'm like, network what? Network marketing, he says. And like, what's your sponsor? You gotta meet my sponsor. He started a country called Canada. Anybody know Simon Aboud here? So I said, Simon who? We went to eat. Simon showed me the business on a napkin. Believe it or not, back then, that's the tools we had in Canada. Things changed. So I signed up October 31st, 2004. My first meeting, I called my people. The tools I had was a napkin. Called them up. Okay, there's this thing going on. You got to be there at 7. My friends were like, what's going on? I'm like, just be there at 7. 15 showed up. 9 of them signed up on the spot. Signed in the booth, did the presentation. Those 9 people became 33,000 IBOs, 33,000 representatives all over the world. I live in a city called Montreal, right next to Toronto, Ottawa, New York. Those 4 cities are multi-ethnics. And from those cities now, my team is spread out all over the world in every single country that ACN is into right now. I don't even know if there's people in my organization here, I'm sure there is. And this thing is going crazy right now. And it's all based on one thing, the belief. Everybody that took the decision to be here today, to pre-register for this event, you have no idea what you're waiting for. Me and Max, you attended over 33 international events in a row. Believe it or not. We never missed one and we never will. Because that's the way we were raised. And I strongly suggest you guys to do the same thing. And I was having a discussion backstage with Mike Kupitz. And Mike was telling me that the commitment that we have in North America, we have to have the same commitment over here. Don't ever miss an international event. And you're going to be able to pursue your business and build organizations like Match and I did all over the world. That's the key, to show them one thing, the heart. ACN is big, but it's nothing compared to what it's going to look like in a couple of years. I'm only 30 years old, and I've been doing this for 7 years every day. I'm excited for the next 7 years coming. Who's excited to do this business with me? Make some noise.